Here we go. I started it early because, I'm back. I'm in the house.
Welcome
Right?
back, Margaret.
Thank you. Although you really didn't miss me. I was working with you all the time. So it was good. So we have got lots of new faces and lots of new people. And so I'd really like to just do something to make sure everyone's connected. So I always like to do introductions. And if you're in the room, you got to speak up. And for some reason, we aren't liking how this view is. Because it's not, this is better. So that is much better. Otherwise, we have Liz, and Liz is in this big picture, and then everybody else is teeny tiny. So that didn't work. So I'm going to start here in the room. We've got the microphone here, so hopefully we can hear you all. But if you could say your name, and what kind of fun things could we do? Your favorite summer treat. So I'll go first. I'm Margaret Gade. I'm a productivity coach. Many of you know me, some of you don't, here at Keller Williams Avenues. And my favorite summer treat is so crazy. I just like a good old fashioned vanilla ice cream cone, soft serve from like Dairy Queen or McDonald's. That is my favorite treat. So with that, Kevin, I'm going to let you start us off from the back of the room.
I am Kevin Hubbs. I have been with Keller Williams since early May, 1st of May. What else? I came out of the construction industry. I was a director of purchasing for GH Phipps Construction Companies. And I retired after 15 years at Phipps and decided that I just didn't want to hang out around the house, and I wanted to do something different. So I got into real estate. My favorite, man, I got a lot of favorites. I'm gonna say just like, a steak and potatoes on the patio.
Okay.
Dinner. So that's what my favorite summer stuff is. So
Awesome. I love it. All right, Julie.
My name is Joyce.
Joyce, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah. And my favorite summer treat are watermelons. They're around here this time of the year, and they're very thirst quenching. So they're my favorite summer treats.
Awesome. And you just joined the office in like the last few days, right?
Correct. Yeah, I just joined. Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Liz, go.
I'm Liz. I just joined the office back in May of this year, so I'm still relatively new. And I actually was going to say my favorite summer treat is also watermelon with some feta cheese. I can try to come up with another unique one. Oh gosh, lemonade. It's not very unique, but lemonade is incredible. Highly recommend.
Love it. Add a little vodka and you're set. All right. Christina.
Hi, my name is Christina Quinones, and I joined Keller Williams, I believe 2 years ago in August. And my favorite summer treat is also watermelon, with or without tahini.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Christina Murphy.
Thanks. I'm Christina Murphy. I've been with Keller Williams since around April of this year, and well, there's many summer treats, but I think one of my favorites is something called water ice, which I'm from the Philadelphia area. You can't really get it around here. Rita's is probably the closest thing. It's kind of like Italian ice, but a little bit better. So
Love it. Love it. Some of our people are dropping off. I guess they don't want to talk to me this morning. All right, Jeff Gorman.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Gorman. I'm not very original here because I like watermelon too. I've been around for a couple of years.
I love it. Yeah, I like watermelon too, but I love mine.
I hate watermelon. I can't stand it.
Oh, I hear it. Now they're all coming back. So maybe they didn't leave me. Maybe it was a Wi-Fi issue. Okay. Erica.
Good morning. I'm Erica Anderson. I joined the brokerage in March of this year. And I think for my favorite summer treat, I'm a big fan of spending the summer at Waterworld, and nothing's better than like a cup of Dippin' Dots at the end of a long day at Waterworld.
There we go. We got some attention from some people on that one. All right, Scott McIsaac.
He's muted.
He's muted. There we go. Can't hear you, Scott. I'm gonna let you reconnect. Maria. I see you walking down the hall, but you look frozen.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, we're not getting you either. Okay, so, yeah, you were freezing as you were walking down the hall, so. All right, super duper duper. Well, I'm gonna turn my camera around. I don't normally like to do that, but for some reason, you guys like to see my face, so there I am. But I'd like you to see the room as well, so. I was trying to figure out if Maria was walking into our office. All right, so some of you have never coached with me, some of you have been here a little bit. But I always like to start off with, talk to me about something good, right? And I know that several of you have got some good things to talk about. So Liz started shaking her head first. So I'm gonna let her talk a little bit about all of her good news, which there's a bunch.
I had a really good weekend, very active. A couple downsides, but the overall, I was at the same open house Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which was a first for me. And I actually really enjoyed that setup because then I felt really comfortable talking about the property from all 3 days, hearing a lot about from the neighbors in the community. So they were able to share some information that I then relayed to other potential buyers throughout the weekend. So that was really nice and good, beneficial information for the future, for me at least, for planning open houses and how, if I'm available all weekend, to try to do them that way if I can. We had some good interest, a couple people that had come in on Friday night and then came back with their realtor on Saturday. So that was downside, of course, but it was still really interesting to talk through the process and having conversations with really more realistic buyers. I also had a client of mine that I've been gradually nurturing the relationship, and she came by to see the open house on Saturday. It didn't end up being a really good fit for her, but she is getting a more steady income coming in. So that'll be nice. So I can work with her on finding her something soon before her lease ends. Yay, first time home buyers. And then Sunday, well, actually, so Saturday night, another potential client of mine at the time, I wasn't thinking she was planning to work with me because she had a realtor already. But Saturday night, I received a text message from a friend of mine that asked if I was available on Sunday to show her a property that she was informed of that had just came on the market on Saturday. And although I was doing an open house 12 to 2, I said I was available in the morning or afterwards. So we ended up going to see the unit that she was just absolutely in love with. 10 o'clock on Sunday. We went in, she loved it. It marked pretty much all of the boxes of what her needs were, but then there were a couple things it was missing. And when I contacted the listing agent to ask more in detail about the property, she noted that there was already an offer in hand. It was above listing price, but good information for me in the learning process, and maybe others too that haven't gone through this step yet, because this was a first for me. I wasn't certain what information I could try to get out of her, and so that I could, if my buyer decided to put an offer in, and I still just asked anyways, just because I figured if she's willing to give information, then that would be beneficial for me and for my buyer. So I asked if she was comfortable sharing what the offer was at, it, like how far above listing price it was. And she said, no problem. It's 3% over listing price. They're offering 20% down and there's no appraisal gap. So that was the aspect noted, that when I then contacted Margaret and asked if she would be available to review my contract in the afternoon, Margaret and Charles both, I was so appreciative to you for being on top of things and ready, like responsive with me, even though you had other plans on your Sunday, and then dropped what you were doing to help me and coach me through the process and review my contracts. In the end, we prepped, I did a very basic prep of the draft of the contracts, sent them over to Margaret. And then in that meantime, I had a follow up with my buyer who ended up going home and doing a spreadsheet of all of her needs and wants of what she was looking for. And she ended up creating this formula for herself that she wouldn't be comfortable buying something unless all of the needs and wants added up to a total of 75%. And this property only ended up being a 68%. So it was very, very logical mindset, which was really interesting for me to work through with her. I did try to have conversations with her about what it could be like as an investment property in the future, but ultimately I never want to pressure anyone into anything. I just wanted to give her all of the perspectives of what realistically it could be and how the price, of course, will go up the longer that she waits. So ultimately she decided not to put an offer in, but it was a really good practice for me of the intensity of how quickly things can happen. And it was exciting. It was within less than 24 hours that I was prepping the contracts, making sure that all of the paperwork was in place, and then would get reviewed in order to get an offer in by the 5 o'clock deadline on Sunday. So now knowing how all of that goes a little bit more so, I want to make sure I have everything prepped and drafted as much as possible in the case that happens again. But yes, huge help, Margaret. Thank you for,
Welcome.
oh my God, being amazing.
Okay, and you've got how many buyers that you would consider active, even though we don't have them signed on agencies yet?
I have 3 right now.
Three buyers, and you've had your license how long?
Just since May, so 2 months, not even.
Okay, guys, it can happen quick, it can happen fast, right? It's just about not being a secret agent. And I'm going to unpack some of the things that Liz talked about here to kind of help all of you, right? So that's how we learn together and talking about that. Okay, I know there's some other good news out there, so who's got some to share? Christina Quiones, what's your good news?
So I have a house just went on the market, and we did our first open houses this weekend, and we had a lot of good traffic come through. I've had a lot of individual showings as well. So we're there, and I may have picked up a buyer through the open house this weekend. So I will make contact with them later. And my clients also have a house up in Boulder that is almost complete that they're going to take me up and see this week.
Okay, so I think I know which client this is. Christina, how did you find this client that you have sold a home, bought a home, have a house on the market, and now you're telling me the same client's taking you up to a Boulder property they own? How did you meet them? How did you meet them?
I've been handing out handwritten cards to properties that have dumpsters in front of them or look like they're being remodeled of some sort. And I just put a nice little note in that says, "Hi, my name is Christina. I'm a local realtor in the neighborhood. Not sure what your future plans are, but I'm offering any real estate needs that you may have." Something simple like that. And they reached back out.
Wow. How many of you ever thought about driving around your neighborhood or your geographic farm and looking for houses with dumpsters in the front of them and writing them a note? Jeff has. Jeff has thought of a lot of things. So, okay, awesome. I love that, Christina. So when this one closes, that'll be your 3rd transaction and you'll be moving up to Momentum, right?
Yes. However, can I take both coaching classes?
Sure, why not? I don't care. You can take all 3 once you get to that level. I don't care.
Okay, thank you.
All right, who else has got good news? All right, that's good. All right, I didn't bring my phone. I typically don't bring my phone, but I'm not going to have the dates 100% correct. So you guys are going to have to help me. Okay, so this week is the last 2 sessions of Ignite. And yours truly is going to finish you out strong. Okay, so come to Ignite. Stacy's teaching Tuesday. I'm teaching Thursday. but make sure that you're here. We're gonna take a week off and then we're starting the next rendition of Ignite. So we're gonna start it over again. So for those of you that are brand new, or you're like, well, I didn't make it for Ignite the first time, no big deal, just jump in wherever you are and come to it. It's live here in the Market Center at 90th and Wadsworth. I think we're gonna stick with the 10 to 2 because I think it worked. I think that
Oh,
time
yeah,
seemed
good
to work really well for people. And so we're gonna continue with that. We're gonna make some tweaks in the instructors. There's gonna be some tweaks. But we can absolutely, it's a great program to learn the soups and nuts and everything in between of real estate. Right? And even if you just took it, I'll bet you don't have to remember it all. Right? So it's a class or a workshop, a series of educational materials that I'd love for you guys to engage in more than once if you can. Okay, because you're just going to continually move forward. Christina just hit me on chat, Maria just hit me on chat, said she wanted to talk about her open house. So I didn't know about this, so tell us about it.
Yeah, I had an open house with actually with Taylor, and it went really well. It was in Lohi. It was a beautiful location. I got out of town buyers from that one. So yeah, I'm excited, and I have a client that I'm going to send you the contract to look over to send them on Sunday for another buyer. So the open house for me have been amazing. Margaret told me to put myself out there. So I've been going to every one she sends me, and it's been really amazing for not only my confidence, but talking to people has been just very natural to me, and they just gravitate to me. So it's been very easy. So thank you, Margaret, for pushing me.
You're welcome. That's why y'all are in coaching, right? Because if you do it yourself, you're just gonna hide. Right? It's so easy to hide in our four walls. And so let me help you continue to grow and push you. And I'll push you as hard as you want to be pushed. Some of you don't want me to push very hard, and that's okay. And some of you say, kick me hard. So whichever one works. So thank you for that. So I do want to talk about open houses as well. So awesome. All right. Ignite is starting. Then the third Wednesday of every month is the Coaching Skills Lab. Okay. And our goal in Coaching Skills Labs is that you're going to walk away with something you can use in your business that means something, or a higher level skill. Right. So just some examples for those of you that have not attended. It wasn't that long ago that Brittany Hackenberg and I did a live listing consultation in the Market Center in Old Town, and we made it look like she was in a house, and she was there interviewing. I was interviewing her to sell my home. I'm not moving, I'm not selling my home, but I acted like I did, and some of you believed I was actually moving. The following month, we did a live buyer consultation where Jordan and Katie Kessler were being interviewed by Bria on how to represent her as a buyer. Okay, these are the kinds of things you guys asked to go shadow. I don't have enough people doing those kind of consultations to take all of you on all of them that are happening in the Market Center. So these skills labs, when we make it so real, you believe that I'm selling my house, is as real as it's going to get. And I was probably a more difficult seller than you're probably going to incur by design. Then we did an open house mastery program with the Lantern Home Group. Lantern Home Group, 80% of their business comes from working open houses. Many of you took that to heart, and you're having success because of the things that you learned there. All of these classes, these skills labs, are available on the YouTube channel for you to go back and rewatch. So if you missed it, it's not too late. If you're new, it's not too late. Last month, Corey taught about the DISC and how to work with different personality types and how to know how to adapt to them, right? Liz is talking about her buyer. Does anybody know what kind of personality type that buyer is? Yep, you're right, Jeff. That is about as high a C as you're going to get, where somebody fills out a spreadsheet and weights their priorities and has to have a ratio of a certain percent before they'll pull the trigger. That is a high C. You're going to work with them differently than you're going to work with me. What do you guys think I am? Jeff knows probably.
A.
A what?
A?
No, there's not an A in DISC. It's DISC. What am I, Jeff? I'm the highest D you're ever going to find, right? But my I is right there with it, right? A lot of people think I'm a C because I'm so particular about contracts. That's a force thing. That's a learned trait. That's an adaptive trait. But I am very much a high D and a high I. A high D, I am go, 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 go. Some of you have already seen that in me. Write me an email if you don't get my attention in the first two sentences. I'm not reading the rest of it. Just gonna tell you that right up front. Cut to the chase, I don't have time. And a high I care about people, right? I love on people like there's no tomorrow. So anyway, that was there. This month, now this may not catch you guys as much, but we'll see what happens. A couple of you started to write offers. How many of you are super confident in writing in the dates and deadlines section of the contract to buy and sell? A big thumbs down, right? Jeff shaking his head no. I know Christina, if we could see her face probably went, oh, right? So I am going to teach at Skills Lab. I'm going to focus in only on the dates and deadlines portion of the contract. We're going to talk about how you do it, why you do it, the order that you do it, so that it becomes logical. Then I'm going to teach you how to create a template in CTME. CTME is an electronic, Liz is like, oh, I'm writing that date down. CTME, I'm going to give you a template that will auto-populate your dates and deadlines. Then I'm going to give you a hack to make sure it works 90% of the time. It's never perfect when you do the dates and deadlines that way, but it definitely takes a lot of the pain out. So that's what you're going to get at Skills Lab. So I'm hoping you guys will all be in live, in person, with your laptops to help build those templates, okay?
When is that?
This third Wednesday of every month, 12:30 to 2:30. So just put it on your calendar. Third Wednesday, 12:30 to 2:30, Skills Lab. It's been that way. I'm not moving it. I'm a big believer in consistency on some of these courses, and that's the reason why, okay? I can't tell you which one because I have nothing of mine in this room, but I am teaching on a Saturday. It's not this Saturday, so it might be next Saturday. I'm teaching a contracts class on the Saturday dual career. I want you guys to all know, yeah, you're here in foundational coaching on Monday mornings, but there's also content that happens on Saturday mornings that you might go, man, that would be really helpful. Then go pick it up. It's all on Zoom. And this group went from being an in-person group to a Zoom group. I don't know what happened, but anyway, you know, come on Zoom, come in your pajamas. I don't care. Eat breakfast with me, but there's a contracts class. So you're welcome to join those anytime as well. Okay. Questions?
And that Saturday class is on the Google Calendar?
It is. It is. Yep. It's part of the coaching program. So yep, it is. Okay. Awesome. All right. Any questions about that?
You gotta have CTM, right?
You don't have to have CTM. Here's the thing. So CTME is an electronic signature contracting tool that I would say 95+% of the agents in the Denver metro area use. It's extremely user-friendly. Liz started down the path of DocuSign, and she very quickly switched to CTM. And so here's the thing with it. I believe don't buy it till you need it.
Right.
Now, also, your first 30 days are free. And they're pretty quick at updating. Like you could log in, create your account today, and like a couple hours later, they would have you synced to Damien's clauses and Damien's extra addendums and all of those things. So it's not something you need in advance, but it's something I would highly recommend you get. I don't know what the monthly cost currently is, but I know annually I pay $450, which is pretty doggone cheap, right? But
It seems like I've got access on RE Colorado. Is that not the case?
well, so RE Colorado, when you go to the Connects tab, has a lot of auto links.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically signed up for it.
Okay.
It'll just take you to the CTM website,
All right.
where you still have to go create an account and all of that type of stuff. Now, if you're someone who wants to plan in advance, and I've had agents do this where they're like, I'm getting the CTM now, even though I don't have a near-term client, but I want to be able to practice in using it. And I want to go take their classes and I need that hands-on experience. If that's you, go get it.
Well, that's what I'm asking about your skills lab. I mean, do you have to have CTM for the
You
skills
do
lab?
not need to have it.
Okay.
Even coming, just understanding and hearing it and seeing how we work it. When you go to get it, it will trigger it back.
All right.
Okay. For those of you that do have CTM, I strongly encourage you to go to CTME's beginning class and their intermediate class. I can teach you how to hack around in CTM. I didn't develop the software, and I guarantee they will teach you things I don't know.
Karen went through contracts pretty extensively in one of the last classes. I think it might have been was it last Thursday? I can't remember.
Was it a contracts class, how to fill it out?
Well, no.
God, I
it
hope
wasn't.
not.
I can't remember. Was it the seller? It was the seller's class. She went through the contract very specifically though.
Okay. Nope, I will go watch that video.
Then she sent me an email, I think. No,
That's all right. Okay,
will sidetrack.
when you have a buyer or a seller, make sure you're doing consultations with them. Okay? Because it really helps you help them. And one of the Ignite sessions was exactly on that, how to work with buyers or how to work with sellers. And it's very easy. Been there, done that. My name is Margaret. I made these mistakes, so please don't do as I did. Okay? It's very easy to get caught up in I met a client, I gotta go show them houses, and I gotta go do, and I go immediately into action. And I don't take the time to get to know this client. Okay? And one of the big things and I'm going to do buyers because most of you are going to migrate to buyers because they're easier. Christina will tell you sellers are easier, and that's why she's had 2 out of her 3 transaction sellers. But with buyers, we need to help them start to quantify what they want in a property, right? And actually prioritize it. So as Liz was talking about this spreadsheet that her client made, my question is, if there's 10 items on that spreadsheet, are they all weighted the same? Right? And so I'm going to start asking questions of that buyer. And I tell my buyers, if I do my job correctly in this consultation, we will be writing an offer within the first 10 houses that you look at. Because I really work through them. What do they need? I go through that needs analysis big time, right? With my buyers, I make sure they're pre-approved. Now, if you meet them at an open house and they're hot to trot and they're ready to go on that particular property, it all gets super condensed really fast. And if they win the contract, great. But if they don't, then I go back and do that bigger consultation. But are they pre-approved? Get them with your lenders. And then get your buyer agency docs signed as quickly as you can. Right? Get the exclusive right to buy with the brokerage disclosure to buyer and the buyer advisory signed. That is their loyalty agreement to you. However, you have to earn the right to ask for that contract. And you earn the right by doing that consultation and understanding what they need and being a professional. Some of us are the first thing we want to say is, and I love this one. Hey, I'm meeting with a buyer. Will you help me fill out the buyer agency agreements? I'm like, have they even agreed to hire you? So don't go that quick, right? Because if you get too quick, too pushy with it, you could turn them off. Does this make sense? Like earning the right to get the business. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you can't earn that right in 20 minutes because you probably can't. All right. I do my buyer consultations. Once I have a pre-approval letter, I sign the buyer agency documents and then we go looking for houses. I don't show them a house without a pre-approval because I don't want to take someone who thinks their budget is $800,000 and their budget's really $500,000. If I show them $800,000 homes, they are never going to like a $500,000 home. If you don't believe me, go out on a weekend and go preview 3 $800,000 houses and then go preview 3 $500,000 houses and tell me how you feel. Okay, Liz, you had something. And you guys do not have to be on mute. If you're in a quiet place, just leave yourself off mute. It makes it more like you're in the.
Okay, cool. So my question is, do you ask for a copy of the pre-approval letter or at least to see it?
If it's not one of my preferred lenders, yes.
Okay.
So if it's Mitch, I don't. Because if Mitch tells me they're pre-approved, but at the end of the day, I'm going to need a pre-approval letter when I submit offers anyway.
Right.
Now,
You need the physical copy.
Well, an electronic digital copy. Yeah. Now, if
Okay.
it's Mitch and he says, hey, the Smiths are pre-approved, a $750,000 house, I'll go, great. It's Mitch. I know that because I always get a custom pre-approval letter to submit with every offer.
Okay,
So if
that
my
makes sense.
client is pre-approved for $750 and we're writing an offer at $650, the pre-approval letter going with the offer is going to be $650. Okay.
Okay.
But spend that time with the consultations, spend that time with getting to know your client. Same way with sellers, right? You got to have your marketing plan of action put together. You got to earn the right for that before you whip out a listing contract. Right? All right, so that's my one thing. When you're working with buyers, if you take them to a house and they're interested in, Liz talked about talking to the listing agent. I strongly encourage it, right? This is a relationship-based business. And the relationships just aren't with our clients. It's with the agents on the other side. So when I'm writing an offer, my phone call to the listing agent sounds something like, hi, this is Margaret at Keller Williams. I just showed your property on Allison Street, and I've got a buyer who's really interested in it. Just wanted to touch base and how are things going? I'm always very open-ended. If it's a property that I can tell their phone has been probably blowing up, I might actually say, man, that was a great property. Is your phone blowing up? How you doing? Right? Because I want to acknowledge that I will tell you guys, I'm pretty patient with a lot of things as a Heidi. And there was one listing I had, I wanted to throw my phone out the window because it wouldn't stop ringing. Great problem to have, but it's stressful. And so if you can, as the buyer's agent, acknowledge, how you holding up, right? They're going to remember that you cared as much about them as you do your client. Then I'm going to want to find out, I'm going to say, and I say it this way, but I'll give you some other options. So other than price, what is most important to the seller that I should be taking into consideration as I write this offer? Right? Because you might learn that the seller's closing on a new build, and so their perfect close date is something different, right? You might be saying, okay, well, it's July 10th, so I'm just going to make it an August 10th closing date, and we'll be good to go. And you might find out from the listing agent that their best closing date is July 8th or August 8th. Why wouldn't you write it meeting the seller's needs, right? The more needs that you can meet of the seller that don't have a negative impact on your buyer, the higher probability you have to win, because I will tell you, price isn't always the final decision maker. Okay, so I ask those questions. What's important to the seller? Do they need a post-closing occupancy agreement? Now, if it's a vacant property, you pretty much assume they don't. One of the things that Liz shared with me in her conversation with the listing agent was that she learned that it was an investment property of the sellers. My very next question is, do I need to include a 1031 exchange addendum? Because when I heard it was an investment property and not a personal residence, my brain immediately went to, they might be doing a 1031. Can I help the listing agent out? And all of a sudden you look super smart and super knowledgeable. And let me ask you this, if you're the listing agent, Christina, when you are the listing agent, who do you want to work with? The agents who don't have a clue or the ones that act like they know what they're doing?
Absolutely the ones that act like they know what they're doing.
Right? So let me help you look like you know what you're doing, even when you don't have a clue. Okay? So bring me into those conversations, right? If I can pick up my phone, I will pick it up on the weekends and the evenings within reasonability on time. Okay? Especially if you're in the middle of something, right? I was actually texting with Liz in the middle of our afternoon tea yesterday afternoon with my friend that's here from out of town. So
It was so kind.
I will always be there for you guys, okay? And if not me, another coach will be. And then I'll ask the agent, do you have any other offers? Am I competing with anybody? And they may say yes, they may say no. They might say things like, well, I've had several phone calls, but I don't have anything in hand, or I've had threats, or I've got two. Can you tell me anything about the offers that you're going to ask about them? Right? And again, I want to hear, if they'll tell me, I want to know everything I'm competing against. Right? It's the number one thing in negotiation is knowing what's in the hands of the other side. Right? Think like they do. All right. The other key component is make sure after you submit your offer that your lender picks up the doggone phone and calls the listing agent and talks to the listing agent about the qualifications of your buyer. Mitch, if you work with Mitch, and he's the one that's in our office, but there's many other great ones. Mitch will actually sell you as much as he sells the client. Because listing agents like myself, when the lenders call, I'll say, so how many deals have you worked with Christina before? Have you worked with Maria before? And what do you think Mitch always says?
Yep.
She's in the same office I am, and she's a great gal, and all, he's going to sell it. And especially if he knows that you're in coaching, he knows that you've got me with you, right? So these are all the different things that are going to help you win for your buyers.
Margaret, can I interject something about Mitch as well?
Yeah.
So the same buyer that did the spreadsheet for her needs, she was previously working with a different agent as well as a different lender for the past, really for about almost a year now. And they just haven't moved forward on anything. And she ended up disclosing to me yesterday that she had been keeping her eye out for other options for other realtors and other lending options, which she didn't really know at the time that she even had an option to look around, to shop around for other options to work with. And she had 2 conversations with Mitch. And after that discussion and talking through, she felt so much more comfortable working with me and with Mitch in comparison to the previous 2 people she was working with, previous lender and realtor, because of the pressure that they were putting on her and the lack of information that they provided. Whereas my buyer expressed that she didn't feel pressured by me, but she felt really supported, that I was actually listening to her needs and what she wanted to find, as well as with Mitch, that he didn't talk down to her. He just was able to give information on more of meeting her at the level of knowledge that she's at. So she sent a message to her realtor yesterday saying she'd no longer be working with her or the lender that she had been talking to previously, and that she's moving forward with, she didn't give her details, but now she has confirmed that she's moving forward with me and then with Mitch in the future too. So he's really great with everyone and available obviously on Sundays too, which is nice.
Yes, he's picked up the phone for me when he's been in Hawaii. So he works like we do. And Liz, we need to get her under a buyer agency quick.
Yes, I just sent her a message this morning, actually.
Yep, so I need to review this. That's the other thing. I need to review, for those of you in coaching, I need to review every document before you have a client sign it. Okay, your real estate schools did a great job getting you past the test. Contracts are a completely different beast. Okay, so make sure that I'm involved and I can help you with strategies, right? That's my favorite part. I love the strategy part of our business. And so being able to help you through that is awesome. So any other questions, high level, working with buyers, sellers, consults, all of that stuff?
I have another one if no one else does.
Go ahead.
So I have a follow-up buyer consult right after this call. And initially he had mentioned that he was really interested in finding a place quickly. And then and he had the conversation with Mitch, got pre-qualified with Mitch for a comfortable amount. And then I just texted him this morning to confirm the meeting, and he ended up responding saying, I likely will wait to gather some more cash, but starting the process and have some general questions on what you're seeing generally in the housing market. So he's obviously taken a little step back on hoping to get more of a comfortable financial situation before he takes the next step. But I do know that he's pre-qualified at a certain level already. How do you recommend me moving forward with that call that I have next?
So many different ways. So one, you got to look at what he's pre-approved for.
Yeah.
And what the quality of the homes are that are in that price point. However, it is very unusual for a buyer to outsave appreciation. And what I mean by that is, if he says, oh, I just need to save another $20,000 or $30,000. Okay. Well, the problem is, how fast can most people save $20,000 or $30,000? Right. And especially first-time home buyers, typically, not all, but typically, right? And the house that's $500,000 today will probably be at least 5% or more higher a year from now. right? So 5% of 500,000 is what, 25 grand? So that house that's 500 today could be 525 or more a year from now. Are you really going to be able to get that $25,000 saved? If the answer is no, this right now, this time of year, July and August is the best time to be a buyer. Historically, it's the seasonality of it. And I will tell you, I got a buyer under contract this weekend for $10,000 under list price that was $20,000 under market value, and we were the only buyer that went and looked at it. Great time to be a buyer. You got to have those conversations with him, Liz. And for all of you that are talking with buyers, you need to talk about why this is a good time to buy, right? And understand it's really a fear thing, and you just need to talk to them about, well, if we want to pump the brakes, let's talk through the reasons why, and then what are the risks and rewards to doing so. That would be how I would approach it.
Okay.
At the end of the day, as I always tell my clients, timeline is yours, not mine. But let me explain to you the possible risks by waiting.
Are there any
Okay.
other risks that you would, other than the 5%?
Prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Prices are going to go up, right? We aren't seeing price recessions here. Okay. Whew, we've been flying. Okay. Is this good today? Lots of stuff coming at you guys, right? But it's a lot more tactical sometimes, but I like to do that once in a while. All right, I want to talk about open houses. How many of you are working open houses? Okay. All right. Open houses are a fantastic way to find clients, and some of you are getting really good at it. Okay. There's some things about open houses that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get some clarity from Bob on one of them and figure out how exactly we're going to do this. First of all, I send out an email or post in the Facebook group every week if I have open houses that have come to me. Right. One of the things that we have with with being in coaching is because I know so many agents, high performing agents, they don't want to work the open houses. They call me up and say, do you have people who want to work open houses? Do you know why they call me? Because they know I've trained you. Right. That I've taught you how. And if you're new, I'm putting you with people that do know how. Okay, so they're comfortable with you guys' abilities to host an open house and represent the seller and that listing agent at a high level. Okay, so we send out notices that say, I've got open house opportunities, send me your availability. So you want to email me, let me know when you're available. I'm available Friday night, I'm available Saturday, or I'm available Sunday. Typically open houses on the weekend, I do them usually somewhere between the hours of 11 and 3. Sometimes it might be 11 to 1, it's typically 12 to 2, sometimes we do 1 to 3. That's typically the window it's going to be in. So don't ask me what time is it at. It's just going to be in that window. Okay. Sundays will never start before 12. Too many people go to church services and it just doesn't make sense. And I've studied what time of day gets the most volume, right? What time of day gets the highest activity in open houses? Why would I give you an open house from 9 to 11 if nobody shows up between 9 and 11, right? That makes sense. So sign up and then give me time to get the assignments out. I work really hard to get them out by Wednesday. It's usually Thursday. It's sometimes because I don't even know about an open house until Wednesday. And it's a jigsaw puzzle, right? I'm trying to put together experience with inexperience. I'm trying to put together a lot of different pieces. So I always ask for your patience, please. Okay. If you're working in an open house, if you are not the listing agent, you are not to represent yourself as the listing agent in any way, shape, or form. Any flyers that you create, any marketing that you do has to say on it, listing courtesy of, and the name of the listing agent. Okay. That is critical. And let's say some of you, Courtney Olson's team does a great job of creating your social media posts for you, right? Well, that's wonderful, but she doesn't use the words listing courtesy of, she just puts her website on it. That's not enough. So when you guys post that on social media and you write your little commentary about, hey, come see me, I'd love to see you, blah, 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 put in your commentary, listing courtesy of Courtney Olson or the core group, okay? So just make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, okay? Make sure when you're talking to people, I like to say things like, the seller and the listing agent wanted me to say thank you for coming in. Okay, I just told you I'm not the listing agent without putting a banner on it on my head that says, I'm not the listing agent. Right? So make sure your commentary, make sure you're referencing that, right? There's just a lot of eyeballs on our industry always. And we just want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves. So some of this is going to start sounding a little weird. Open house signs. As a coaching program, we have open house signs that you all can borrow. Now, if you have the good fortune of working with Taylor Vonderock or Stephanie Taylor, some of these other agents, they've got their own signs, so you'll use theirs. Please, we're going to tweak the system a little bit. I need to know, you need to reserve your signs through Stacy and Andy, right? Because we only have so many sets. And sometimes we'll have somebody schedule a pickup time, but we didn't realize that 4 other people also were picking up signs and we ran out. So I don't ever want to do that. So if you can reserve signs and let us know, even because I know who was going to probably want signs in my groups. But if you're doing one, like if Christina Kionis is doing an open house at her listing and she needs my signs, I don't know that unless she reserves them. Okay, so we're going to tweak that to have a little bit better communication. You can always, 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 always ask the listing agents. As a listing agent, I have open house signs. By the way, if Margaret Gate Homes isn't doing an open house that weekend, you can use my signs. I don't care, as long as you bring them all back. Right? But I know Courtney has signs. I know Heckenbergs have signs. I know Kesslers have signs. Like, you can reach out and see if the listing agent wants you to use their signs as well. So just make sure that we know who's on first. And please, I don't think this is anybody that's on this call, so I won't embarrass anybody, thankfully, and I never intend to anyway. Please don't wait until 5 minutes to 5 to call us and tell us you need signs on Friday. Please. That's all I ask. Please plan ahead as much as you can with your partners. Okay. Questions on open houses, thoughts on open houses? No. Okay. Love
You
it.
said you have open houses this weekend, or? when did you
Yep, I already sent out an email and put on Facebook that I do have open houses on Saturday and Sunday right now.
Okay, I just don't have Facebook, so I'll look for your email.
But I sent an email too. So that's why I send it out in multiple ways so that you guys, I try and get everybody where you want to be communicated at. Okay. Questions on open houses? So there was a lot of open houses held. I think almost everybody on this has held one this weekend. I just want to hear busy or not busy.
Busy.
I wasn't super busy, but I wasn't quiet either.
Okay. I like that.
We had a lot of out of town.
You were out there, right? She's fixing her mute button.
Yes, I was out there. It wasn't super busy for me. I do know we were kind of in a secluded neighborhood, like a cul-de-sac. Maybe that was part of it. Also, it was raining, so I don't know if people just wanted to stay home.
Which, did you have the one on Garrison?
Yes, on Saturday from 12 to 2.
Yeah, that one you got to sign hard on 88.
Yep. And
I
that's,
used to live in that community, so I know exactly where that house is. So
yeah.
yeah.
We
you
weren't
gotta
that
sign-
busy, but then I started walking around and people started walking into I was like, let me show you this nice place we have. And people just started walking in. So I can't just sit there. So I've been walking out of trying to bring the neighborhood in.
I love it. Here's the other thing, you guys. How many of you door knock in advance of your open houses? Or how many of you are like, I don't even know what you're talking about? You don't know what I'm talking
Knocking's
about.
fun.
Door
I
knocking
love
is
door
fun.
knocking.
I love door knocking, especially for open houses. You go to the neighbors and you invite them to the open house. Create a cute little flyer, make it like a little invitation. There's some cute ones in command. And you go around and you knock on the doors and you say, hi, my name is your name at Keller Williams. I don't know if you're aware, but the house down the street at 123 Main Street just went on the market. And the seller has asked me to invite all of the neighbors to the open house we're having on Saturday from 12 to 2. So, and then I hand them the flyer, right? And they'll go, oh, I didn't know that. Why are they moving? And my answer is, I don't even know. Life always changes. Even if I know, I don't know, life always changes because I don't want people to know their story. Right? Erica's got one she's working on right now. It looks like it's gonna be a big, bad, ugly divorce situation. She does not need to be telling the neighbors that, okay? So life changes, right? But here, and then I'll say to them, but I'm wondering if you can help me with something. And of course, people always want to help people, right? 95% of the world is good. You know, we still have more buyers wanting to buy homes than we have homes in the area. And I have a feeling that this house is going to be very popular this weekend. And there's a very high likelihood that they're going to get more buyers and more offers than we have houses to sell. So I'm curious, do you know anyone in the neighborhood who needs to be selling in the next 60 to 90 days that I should be talking to? Right? Who else is selling? Because what do we want? We want listings, right? Listings is the #1 leverage in real estate. So if you ask the guy who answers the door when you're inviting them to an open house, and you say that, you might discover the person you're talking to is thinking about selling. Right? And then of course I'll ask things too. Well, do you know anybody that's looking to buy in the neighborhood? I know a lot of times people like to live close to their friends and family. Okay, so those are the types of questions you can have. Door knocking for an open house is the easiest kind of door knocking to do, especially if you've not done it and you're not comfortable. And don't go alone. Take your open house buddy with you. Okay. All right. I'm so glad to be back with you guys in person and not just on Zoom, although you're all still on Zoom, but I'm not. So anyway, I will see you next Monday back here, same time, same place, same bat channel, right? Make sure that you have the skills lab on your calendars, right? And I want to see you all there. Also, remember, you all get one-on-one a month with me for 30 minutes. So make sure that the scheduling tool will let you book out 90 days. My best practice when I was an agent working with a coach, I would book out current month, next month, and third month. So that way it was on his calendar and it was on my calendar. Sometimes we had to move it. One of us had a scheduled meet, but get those booked out. I will tell you, the people that come to one-on-ones and let me help you build your business are the ones that are rocking and rolling. Okay. So with that, have a great week. Y'all know how to find me, and I will see you soon.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you, Margaret.
Yep.